Wisdom seekers, I want you to imagine something. You wake up in a room. There is no sound, no movement, only silence. You are entirely alone. There's no one to speak to, no one to listen to, and no one to watch you struggle. It's just you and your thoughts. Now ask yourself, what would you do? How would you fill the void that stretches out before you, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day? Many men would tremble at the thought of facing complete solitude. Our modern lives are filled with constant distractions, fleeting pleasures, and unending social interaction. We've become so accustomed to the noise that the quiet, true solitude terrifies us. But there is a kind of man who not only survives alone but thrives in it. There is a way to transform that isolation into a crucible for self-discovery and power. The secret lies in cultivating certain habits that can turn loneliness into the purest form of self-sufficiency and strength. Today, I'm going to guide you through 10 habits to master the art of living alone, derived from the wisdom of the Stoics and insights from philosophers who understood the depths of the human mind. These habits are not for the faint of heart. They require discipline, resilience, and a relentless commitment to growth. But if you are willing to walk this path, you will emerge a stronger, wiser, and more resilient man. One who is not afraid to face the world or himself alone. Wisdom seekers, your support means everything. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and consider using the thank you feature to make a donation. Every like, subscribe, and donation helps us continue our mission of sharing knowledge. Ready to unlock more wisdom? Let's get started. Habit 1. Embrace the void. Make solitude your companion. Most men fear solitude because it forces them to confront themselves. It's in the quiet moments that the weight of your insecurities, regrets, and fears rises to the surface. The first habit, therefore, is to learn to embrace the void. Solitude is not a punishment, but a chance to reconnect with the essence of who you are. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you are alone, you are free from the expectations of others. There is no need to perform, to conform, or to impress. It is in these moments that you must become your own best friend, your own mentor, and even your own critic. How does one embrace the void? Begin by sitting in silence every day, with no distractions, no phone, no music, no screens. It can be as short as 10 minutes at first, but let this time be yours and yours alone. As you sit there, thoughts will rush in like a torrent. At first, they may be chaotic, uncomfortable, even overwhelming. But as you continue this practice, you will learn to observe these thoughts without judgment. You will see them for what they are, mere illusions of the mind. Over time, you will notice that you become less reactive, less impulsive. You begin to understand that the outside world is but a mirror of your inner state. When you find peace in solitude, you can carry that peace with you everywhere. In solitude, you are not lonely. You are simply alone. There is a profound difference. Use this time to analyze your deepest desires and fears. Write down what comes to mind. Every thought, every emotion, every question. Let it all surface and then put it on paper. Once it is written, dissect it like a surgeon. Understand where these thoughts come from, why they are there, and what they reveal about you. This habit will teach you to find clarity in confusion and strength in vulnerability. The void is not empty. It is filled with the raw materials you need to rebuild yourself. Accept that being alone is a natural state for a human being. Remember that you were born alone, and you will depart from this life alone. Solitude is not to be feared, but to be understood and embraced. It is the environment where the soul's true nature is revealed. When you make solitude your companion, you learn to live without craving the validation or presence of others. You become self-reliant in the deepest sense, not needing others to complete your being, but appreciating them as enhancements to an already complete self. Habit 2. Develop unbreakable self-discipline. The second habit is about discipline. Self-imposed, unbreakable discipline. When there is no one around to watch you, to hold you accountable, or to motivate you, you must become your own source of discipline. Self-discipline is the backbone of any man who seeks to survive alone, for without it, the mind will wander, the body will grow weak, and the spirit will falter. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that no man is free who is not master of himself. Discipline is not about punishment, it's about structure. When you are alone, you have the unique opportunity to create your own routines, your own rules, and to test your own limits. This is not the time for indulgence or self-pity. It is the time for action and purpose. The true strength of a man is revealed in how he behaves when no one is watching. Start with small, manageable tasks and gradually increase the level of challenge. Establish a daily schedule and stick to it, no matter how trivial some tasks may seem. It could be something as simple as waking up at the same time each day or setting aside time for exercise and reading. The key is consistency, for it is through repeated actions that discipline is forged. When you train your body and mind to follow a routine, you reduce the power of external circumstances over your life. Remember that self-discipline is not just about physical habits, it's about mastering your thoughts as well. If you find your mind wandering to negative or unproductive places, bring it back. You are the master of your mind, not its slave. Practice deliberate focus. Commit to doing one thing at a time and doing it well. Eventually, this unbreakable self-discipline will extend to every area of your life. You will find that you can accomplish tasks that once seemed impossible and endure hardships that would have broken a lesser man. This habit will serve as the bedrock for all others. When you master yourself, you gain control over your destiny. You are no longer at the mercy of your impulses, but guided by your own inner resolve. Understand that in practicing self-discipline, you are exercising your willpower like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. When you fail, do not be harsh with yourself. Instead, correct the course immediately. Failure is an opportunity to reaffirm your commitment, not a reason to abandon it. It is in the disciplined mind that freedom is truly found. Habit 3. Cultivate physical toughness. Train the body relentlessly. In solitude, your body becomes both a temple and a battleground. The third habit is to cultivate physical toughness. When you are alone, your physical strength is your most direct form of power and control. It is not merely about looking strong, but about being strong, possessing a body that can endure discomfort, pain, and hardship. The ancient Stoics often spoke of fortitude, and they trained their bodies just as rigorously as their minds. They understood that physical resilience translates into mental resilience. Seneca once said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Training your body regularly will show you that your physical limits are often self-imposed. Push yourself daily, whether it is through lifting weights, running, or any form of exercise that challenges you. Do not let comfort become a cage. When you train alone, there is no audience, no applause, and no recognition. It is just you against yourself, and this is where true growth occurs. Incorporate various forms of physical training. Do not just focus on strength, but also on endurance, flexibility, and agility. Embrace discomfort as a necessary ingredient for improvement. Each drop of sweat and moment of struggle is a testament to your commitment to become unbreakable. There will be days when your body aches and your mind tells you to rest, to take it easy. Do not listen. These are the moments that define you, the moments when you choose to press on, even when no one would blame you for quitting. Physical training in solitude will also teach you to love the process, not just the results. It's easy to be motivated by a crowd or a competition, but the man who can push himself to train alone is truly self-sufficient. This habit of consistent training creates a feedback loop. The stronger your body becomes, the stronger your mind becomes, and vice versa. Your body becomes a manifestation of your inner discipline. Remember that this habit is not about perfection, but about persistence. You may have days where you don't perform as well as you'd like, and that's acceptable. What matters is that you keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, and keep challenging yourself. Over time, this dedication will mold you into a man of iron will and unyielding strength. In solitude, you may be the only person to witness your transformation, and that is perhaps the greatest reward. For when you have no one to prove anything to, you train for the purest reason, self-mastery. Every push-up, every mile run, every weight lifted becomes a declaration of your commitment to yourself. It is a declaration that you will not be broken by the demands of life, but will meet them head-on, with a body that can endure as much as the mind. Habit 4. Control your mind. Master your thoughts. The fourth habit is to control your mind. When you are alone, your mind becomes your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The thoughts that swirl in your head unchecked can lead you into darkness or elevate you to new heights. Controlling the mind is not about repressing thoughts, but about mastering them. You must learn to observe your thoughts without getting attached to them. Think of your mind as a wild horse that needs to be tamed. You don't need to kill its spirit, but you do need to guide it. The philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In solitude, your reactions are not witnessed by others, but they define your internal world. Practice mindfulness and meditation to develop this habit. It is not enough to be physically alone, you must also learn to be mentally still. Set aside time each day to sit quietly and observe your thoughts. Notice the patterns, the recurring worries, and the stories you tell yourself. Are they empowering or limiting you? As you develop this habit, you'll find that negative thoughts lose their power over you. You'll no longer be a slave to anxiety, regret, or anger. When an unproductive thought arises, acknowledge it, and then let it go. Picture each thought as a cloud passing in the sky. Here one moment, gone the next. You are not the thoughts, you are the observer of the thoughts. This distinction will give you the power to change the narrative of your life. Train yourself to replace negative thoughts with constructive ones. When faced with a challenge, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," train yourself to think, "I will find a way." This mindset does not deny the difficulty of life, but refuses to be defeated by it. The Stoics believed in preparing for adversity and then meeting it with equanimity. Practice this when you are alone, and you will be ready for whatever life throws at you when you step back into the world. Control over the mind extends to your actions as well. In solitude, you have the freedom to cultivate good habits and eradicate bad ones. Take advantage of this time to learn new skills, read books that challenge your thinking, or engage in hobbies that require focus. The more you train your mind, the more resilient it becomes. It is said that the mind is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. Your goal is to make it serve you in achieving your highest potential. When you master your thoughts, you master yourself. This control is not about suppressing emotions or denying your humanity. It's about choosing how you respond to the world. It's about realizing that you always have a choice, even when it seems like you don't. This mental strength will serve as an impenetrable shield against the chaos of life. Habit 5. Embrace minimalism. Let go of excess. To survive and thrive alone, the fifth habit is to embrace minimalism. Minimalism is not just about owning fewer things, it's about needing less and finding contentment with what you have. When you live in solitude, you will realize how little you actually need to be happy. The constant pursuit of more possessions, more wealth, more accolades, often leaves men feeling empty. The Stoics, especially Seneca, often spoke of the virtue of being satisfied with little. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. Begin by taking a thorough inventory of your life, your belongings, your commitments, even your thoughts. Ask yourself, what adds value to my life, and what is merely clutter? Gradually start removing the excess. This process isn't about deprivation, but about making room for what truly matters. When you let go of the superficial, you make space for the profound. Practice finding joy in simplicity. The less you own, the less there is to weigh you down. When your surroundings are free of clutter, your mind becomes clearer as well. Consider simplifying not just your possessions, but your routines and habits. Focus on what brings you closer to your goals and eliminate what distracts you. Minimalism is a tool to free your time, energy, and focus from what does not serve your highest purpose. Use solitude as an opportunity to assess your desires. What do you genuinely need, and what have you been conditioned to want? Distinguish between the two, and learn to find satisfaction in fulfilling your needs while letting go of unnecessary desires. The simpler your life becomes, the more room you will have for experiences, relationships, and pursuits that truly enrich you. Minimalism also applies to mental clutter. Are there thoughts, worries, or grudges that occupy your mind but add no value? Let them go. Train your mind to focus only on what serves you. By doing so, You create a mental space as serene and uncluttered as your physical environment. When you embrace minimalism, you discover that you have enough and that you are enough. This realization frees you from the endless pursuit of external validation and allows you to find peace within yourself. Habit 6. Practice self-reliance. Trust yourself completely. The 6th habit is to practice self-reliance. In solitude, there is no one to turn to for help, no one to blame, and no one to save you. You must learn to rely on yourself in all aspects of life, emotionally, physically, and practically. The ability to trust yourself, your judgment, and your skills is essential for surviving alone. Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "Trust thyself, every heart vibrates to that iron string." This means accepting full responsibility for your life and knowing that whatever challenges arise, you have the capacity to face them. Start by developing practical skills that allow you to manage daily life on your own. Learn to cook, repair things, and take care of basic needs without assistance. This kind of competence builds confidence. Self-reliance extends to emotional resilience as well. You must learn to comfort yourself during difficult times, to motivate yourself when you feel low, and to be your own source of encouragement. When you can face your darkest moments without needing someone else to pull you out, you will realize the strength that lies within you. Use this habit to cultivate a mindset of problem solving. When faced with an obstacle, your first thought should be, "How can I solve this?" rather than, "Who can solve this for me?" The more you practice finding solutions independently, the more you will trust your ability to navigate life's challenges. Being self-reliant does not mean rejecting help when it is genuinely needed, but it does mean that you do not depend on others as a crutch. You understand that even if help is not available, you will still find a way to survive and thrive. When you trust yourself completely, solitude is no longer a daunting prospect, but an opportunity to prove your capability. True self-reliance is about knowing that no matter what happens, you will rise again. It's about embracing solitude, not as a sentence, but as a proving ground for your own resilience and fortitude. Habit 7. Cultivate a love for learning. Grow your mind in solitude. The 7th habit to master while surviving alone is to cultivate a love for learning. When you are alone, you have a rare opportunity to devote time to the pursuit of knowledge, to grow intellectually, and to expand your horizons without the distractions and noise of the world. This habit is not just about consuming information, it's about developing a deep and relentless curiosity that drives you to seek understanding for its own sake. Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." The pursuit of knowledge should be a lifelong endeavor. When you live in solitude, you are free to choose what you learn and how you learn it. This freedom allows you to dive deeply into subjects that truly matter to you, whether they are philosophy, science, literature, or any other field that ignites your curiosity. Treat each day as an opportunity to discover something new. Set aside time daily for reading and study. Choose books that challenge your assumptions, that stretch your mind, and that offer different perspectives. It's not enough to learn about subjects you are already familiar with. True growth comes from venturing into the unknown. Let solitude be your classroom, where you are both the teacher and the student. As you continue this practice, you'll find that your ability to think critically and independently deepens. Beyond reading, engage in activities that stimulate your intellect, such as solving puzzles, learning a new language, or even writing. Writing is particularly powerful because it forces you to organize your thoughts and articulate what you have learned. When you write, you not only solidify your understanding, but also gain insights that you may not have discovered otherwise. Keep a journal and use it to document your progress, your reflections, and your discoveries. The Stoics valued learning not for the sake of acquiring facts, but for the development of wisdom. They understood that knowledge is only useful when it is applied to improve the quality of one's life. So, as you learn, think about how you can apply the lessons to your own circumstances. What insights can you derive that will help you live more purposefully? How can this newfound understanding assist you in mastering your emotions, your habits, or your goals? Learning also combats the stagnation that can come with solitude. It keeps the mind active, engaged, and focused on growth rather than on loneliness or despair. As you cultivate this habit, you will find that you look forward to your solitary hours, seeing them not as empty spaces to fill, but as opportunities for enrichment and enlightenment. You must also learn to question what you think you know. Do not become complacent with your own beliefs and assumptions. Constantly challenge your own views and seek out opposing arguments. A wise man is never afraid to admit ignorance and to seek answers. The more you learn, the more you will realize how little you know, and this humility will drive you to keep pursuing knowledge for the rest of your life. When you cultivate a love for learning, solitude transforms from a barren landscape into a vast field of exploration. Every day becomes an opportunity to become wiser, to refine your character, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. This habit will not only help you survive alone, but will also prepare you to thrive in any situation you may encounter in life. Habit 8. Practice emotional detachment. Let go of what you cannot control. The 8th habit essential for surviving alone is to practice emotional detachment. In solitude, emotions can seem overwhelming because there is no one around to offer comfort or perspective. It is easy to become consumed by your own feelings, especially when faced with negative emotions like fear, anger, or sadness. The key to mastering emotional detachment is not to suppress your emotions, but to observe them without being swept away. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This teaching emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between what you can control and what you cannot. When you face challenges or experience difficult emotions, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then practice letting it go. If it is within your control, then take the appropriate action to change the situation. Emotional detachment does not mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means cultivating the ability to experience emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. Begin by acknowledging your feelings, whatever they may be. Name the emotion and recognize its presence. Then, ask yourself where this emotion comes from. Is it based on a real threat, or is it a product of your own mind? When you dissect your emotions in this way, you strip them of their power to overwhelm you. Developing this habit will require you to practice mindfulness regularly. When you find yourself reacting emotionally, pause and take a deep breath. Center your thoughts and remind yourself that you are in control of how you respond, even if you cannot control what has triggered the emotion. With time, this practice will become second nature. You will learn to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with a calm and steady mind. Detachment also applies to the people and situations that are no longer part of your life when you are alone. Accept that some relationships may fade, that certain opportunities may pass, and that life is always in a state of flux. By letting go of what you cannot control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Detachment is not about withdrawing from life, but engaging with it more wisely, with less attachment to outcomes. Remember, too, that practicing detachment includes setting boundaries with your own thoughts. Not every thought deserves your attention. When your mind drifts to worry, regret, or speculation, gently guide it back to the present moment. Your emotional state will improve as you focus on what is happening now, rather than dwelling on the past or fearing the future. When you learn to practice emotional detachment, you gain the ability to remain calm and composed even in solitude. The storms of life may rage, but you remain centered, aware that your true self is not defined by transient feelings. This practice is a cornerstone of surviving alone, as it allows you to maintain your inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Habit 9. Find purpose in every day. Create meaning in solitude. The 9th habit is to find purpose in every day. Living alone can sometimes feel aimless, as the external structures that provide meaning, work, social commitments, or obligations, are no longer as present. In the absence of these, you must learn to create your own purpose, to give meaning to each day by setting goals and pursuing them with intent. Nietzsche once remarked, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." This speaks to the power of purpose in giving life meaning, even in the most challenging circumstances. Start by setting small, achievable goals for each day. These goals do not have to be grand or life-changing, but they should be meaningful to you. It could be something as simple as completing a workout, reading a chapter of a book, or creating a piece of art. As you accomplish these daily goals, you'll begin to feel a sense of achievement and fulfillment. The key is to make progress every day, no matter how small. Over time, these small victories accumulate, creating a sense of momentum and purpose. When you wake up each day with something to strive for, you turn solitude into an opportunity for growth, rather than a space of emptiness. Purpose is not found only in productivity. It can also be found in reflection and creativity. Spend time each day doing something that you find deeply fulfilling, whether that's writing, painting, building, or meditating. The important thing is that it resonates with you on a personal level, that it is something you would do even if there was no one to witness or appreciate it. Purpose can also be derived from self-improvement. Set long-term goals that challenge you to grow, and use your solitary time to make progress toward these goals. When you live with purpose, even the quiet moments carry a sense of significance. You begin to see that every day is a chance to become a better version of yourself, to learn something new, or to help someone in a small way. When you practice finding purpose daily, you avoid the existential trap of feeling like life is meaningless. You train your mind to see each day as an opportunity, not an obligation. This habit will transform the way you experience solitude, shifting your focus from what is lacking in your life to what you can create, achieve, or learn. Purpose is a compass that guides you through the unknown, giving direction to your solitary journey. Habit 10. Live with gratitude. Appreciate the present moment. The final habit is to live with gratitude. When you are alone, it is easy to focus on what you lack, the company of others, the distractions of the world, the comforts that come with social life. However, gratitude is the practice of finding joy in the present moment, no matter how simple or unadorned it may be. The Stoics believed in the power of gratitude, and Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to be grateful for the smallest things, and for the least, and for what is not there as well. This means finding value not just in what you have, but in what you don't have, appreciating the absence of things that would burden you, distract you, or hinder your growth. Begin your day with a gratitude practice. Reflect on 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how trivial they may seem. It could be the quiet morning air, the warmth of the sun on your face, or simply the fact that you have time to think and reflect. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from longing to contentment. As you go about your day, take time to appreciate the small moments. When you drink your coffee, savor its taste. When you sit down to read, appreciate the knowledge contained in the pages. When you exercise, be grateful for the strength in your body. The more you practice gratitude, the more you will find that even in solitude, life is rich with experiences that bring joy and fulfillment. Gratitude also involves acknowledging the struggles you face. Instead of resenting the difficulties that come with being alone, be thankful for the opportunity to grow stronger. Each challenge is a chance to develop resilience, to test your limits, and to learn more about yourself. When you learn to see adversity as a gift, solitude becomes less of a trial and more of a teacher. Living with gratitude will transform your experience of life, especially when you are alone. It allows you to see beauty where others see emptiness, to find peace where others find discomfort, and to cultivate a sense of fullness, even in the absence of excess. The habit of gratitude is not about denying reality, but about choosing to focus on the aspects of life that nourish your spirit.